Hi, my name is Sally Bernard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery and awakening with the help of my spirit guides. It's time to trust your intuition. This is your inner knowings. Through questions and points of conversation, I can help others feel empowered. With the ability to touch people's past lives, I help others connect and not feel alone. Sit with me and call in live, 888-994-4995. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Here we are again. It's Monday at 2:30. We have a wonderful audience here. I feel very strongly. Everybody here has a question, and I feel very uplifted with this. And I want to introduce my husband, Steve, who is now once again my guest. Hi, Steve. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Sally. It's wonderful to be here.
So we're going to open the studio. We're going to open up to the studio with any questions, because I believe a few of the people here want to have some questions for me to answer.
There's a tremendous vibrational energy here in the studio today.
It certainly is. It's fantastic today. I love it. Everybody here, I love you being here. Thank you. Any questions, please just give me them, and we'll do the best to answer them. Hi. Hi.
It's such a pleasure to be here.
Great.
So one of my questions is, I'm starting this new pickleball paddle line called For Joy Paddles, and I just wondered if you have any advice or any readings on that endeavor.
Well, I feel, especially with I don't know a whole lot. I used to play tennis, but actually where I live now, they're doing this pickleball.
Yes.
And I'm really interested in it. And I feel that it's up and coming. I think you're starting this at the right time, so everybody that is interested in this is going to pick up on what you're saying. I feel that it's very important that you do this, because it's not, the other thing that I feel that it's not age limited. And that's very, very important. They want me to tell you that. From 60 to 70 to even in their 80s, people are going to play this. I think it's really important. You're starting absolutely at the right time. So pursue what you're doing. Do not give up, which I know you're not going to, but just continue with this. I think it's really important. Now is the time to show people that you're never too old. I used to play tennis, and actually where I live, they're playing pickleball.
Yes. Pickleball, yeah.
Pickleball. And I feel that maybe I'm beyond being able to do this, but I don't think so now. Listening to what you've been talking about, I think it's really important. That I think it's very good exercise for older people.
Definitely.
And I asked Stacy, why is it called pickleball? And she was kind enough to give me an explanation, and it makes sense now. Maybe you want to share that.
Sure. Well, it's a common question, because it is such a strange name for a sport, but the people who developed the sport back in the 60s actually had a dog named Pickles.
Oh.
And so Pickles would chase after the pickleball, and it was Pickles' ball, and then it turned into pickleball. So,
I love that,
yeah,
because
story.
my son has a dog called Penny. The reason he called her Penny, she's a German Shepherd, is that he kept finding pennies.
Yeah.
And I feel that definitely was a message from a dog somewhere.
Well, there's something about the animals, right?
Oh,
That
absolutely.
just-
I'm an animal lover,
for sure.
absolutely. And I feel that as you said that, so that wasn't coincidence. Okay, so I'm going to open the audience, everything, anybody in the studio, or for you, Steve, if you have anything.
Before we went on the air, you got a message for somebody in the studio about the name Penelope. And,
I did.
And Megan almost fell over because that's a dear friend of hers.
Yeah, I mean, that was, but I felt the spiritual connection. I don't know, I got goosebumps, and I was not expecting that walking in today, but 2 months ago, me and Penelope went to the psychic, but yeah, I guess a question I have, do you see, like, or I don't know, is there any place that you feel like,
Well, I believe that this was very important that I validated that, okay? Because I didn't know, and in fact, I was sitting with my good friend and my husband, Steve, and I said, does Penelope mean anything to you? But then I realized it wasn't going that way. And then when I opened it up to the studio and I said, Penelope, you were the first to say that it was a good friend of yours. You don't mind me airing this, okay? Okay. Okay, so I believe that it was really important that you're here today. I believe that the message was for Penelope and through you because you're sitting in the studio. So it was a validation. And I do this a lot, but I never lose that aha moment. And it was important. I said, oh my gosh, great. And I've been doing this for a while now, but I never want to lose that. So it's all good, okay? It's all good. That's what I wanted to
believe Megan wanted to know if you see her in any place.
I need the question. Actually, that's good. Can you ask me the question? Because somehow the vibrational energy, which is great that Steve asked that, but we need to get it from you.
Do you see me in any place or anything, like doing anything? Like
I'm getting Arizona. Does that mean anything to you? Or Sedona?
I mean, Sedona's beautiful. I love like nature and stuff. Like I want to live somewhere.
That was the
with
first
nature.
thing that came to me, Sedona, okay? I don't know if it's a trip or you're going to be there, but I feel that you need to go to well, it's up to you, of course. They can only give us an indication of where we should be. But I feel that Sedona is very important for you to go to, if you want to. It could be now, it could be a year from now, but remember I said that, okay?
All right, thank you.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I like the validation, okay? Yeah. Anybody else in the studio? Leslie, I know that do you want Dawn to maybe ask the question?
I'll go ahead and ask a question. So in my household, my husband has been wanting to move away out of the country. And we have been kind of struggling on, I want to be near family, and he wants a change. And so he's going to go explore.
He's going to go?
He's going to go ahead and go explore and kind of see what the lay of the land is like. And I'm having a very difficult time even thinking of letting go.
Okay, from what I see, I'm going to tell you, let him go and explore, okay? But whatever the outcome, it's going to be okay for both of you. But there's going to be a lot of discussions over it. I can't tell you that you're going to stay here or wherever he's going, but he needs to explore this, okay? It's very important that you know that.
I told him to get
You
the
know
ticket.
that?
He's going.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's nothing is set in stone. But if he doesn't explore it, it's not, you need to do that, if that makes sense to you,
Completely.
okay? And then you can talk about it and you can weigh the pros and cons of where you're meant to be. But it's important that he does that so that if it's something that maybe it's not a mutual agreement, but you present something, at least he's figured it out, or vice versa, if that makes sense to you.
It does.
Okay. So I'm glad you asked that. That was an important question, okay? Keep an open mind for both of you, okay?
Thank you.
Oh, I can see pizza coming in here. Hi.
Not while you're on the air, so.
We have do you have a question? Please. I love your questions. Pizza, not just the pizza, okay? Give me a question.
Sorry. Good afternoon, Sally.
Hi. I'm always delighted to talk with you.
Yes. I haven't seen you in a while. I had a question just saying what my guides have for me today.
What do your guides have?
Yeah, but what do you have, like, what
Similar to
questions?
what they have every week, okay? You follow them, you know that. They talk to you. It's really important. The validation was that we got your guide's name, okay? That's very important. You're at a crossroads. Do you relate to that a little bit?
Yes.
So listen, they'll come to you, they'll talk to you because you're able to interpret that, and you know that too. But also I'm going to call it a twilight in your dreams, okay? So whatever message you've got is the correct message for you, okay?
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
So carry on with that. They're very much here when you're here, when we talk, and you know that too because I actually got their name, which is from the other side, which was good. So just know that they are with you. Do not diversify from what you're intending to do. That's important. I may not understand that, but you're going to understand that. Do not diversify from the message that they're giving you, okay? You may get people saying to you, this is not the correct thing. Don't listen. It's up to you. You interpret it.
Yes, I
okay?
remember that you were telling me on the Friendsgiving. When we had the Friendsgiving, you had the message from me, and you told me that.
Okay, again, I don't always remember, as you know, what I'm saying, but it's coming through. Maybe it's the same message coming through
Yes.
you. It still stands. It's the same message. Do not diversify from what you're intending to do. You are on the right track, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for the pizza.
Hi.
Hi.
I have another question. Well, his question kind of gave me an idea.
Okay.
So right now I'm like thinking, I don't know. I also want to like travel and go places because I just graduated college.
Okay.
But I've been trying to like spirit guides. How do you connect with your spirit guides, and do you see any spirit guides in me, and how I can get in contact with them?
They are trying to connect with you. Just keep an open mind. It's basically what comes into your first thought. That's how I work, actually, from the very beginning. It's what you feel. Ask a question, and your first thought is usually their message, okay? They're giving you messages. They're working with you very much. I'm going to say 100%. So go with your first intuition, what your first thought is, okay? You are on the right track, okay?
And what you've always taught is that speak to them, even if you don't know who they are, and they will probably communicate with you.
They will. Absolutely. But you listen to your intuition and go with the first, even if it's a name, go with the first name. Don't start to say, well, don't question it. Basically, that's what it is. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, Sally, here in the holiday season, you know, some people get very happy, and then other people get into the missing of people that they've lost in their lives. So how do you bring the celebration of the holiday season into the forefront, and do we need to you know, forgive ourselves for things we never said to the people we've lost?
Okay, and I can relate very much to that, Steve. Just to say to our audience, I lost my son, you lost your daughter.
Vice versa.
Vice versa, absolutely.
You lost your daughter, I lost my son.
I'm in a trance, okay. Absolutely. Louise and Scott, okay. Louise was my daughter, Scott was your son. They do communicate with us, okay. So listen, they are communicating, and that's for us, but it's for other people too. Don't say, oh, I'm just imagining this. The message that you may get from your loved ones, from a child, from an uncle, from an aunt, from a parent, it's real. They're trying to contact you. They can do this. Not everybody on the other side can, but a lot of them can. They try. They go through mediums such as myself, and I will be able to give a message. But believe it. Most important is to believe that they're trying to communicate with us. It's very important because they are, okay?
I'm getting a strong feeling that forgiveness plays a big part in the grieving. Do you feel, do you see any people that I might have need to forgive, or somebody that needed to forgive me?
Absolutely, and I like that question. It's very relevant, actually, because on the other side, they see us differently. They see us, they want us to be happy. They look at it from a different point of view. We are, because we're human, we're here right now living a life, that we need to forgive maybe even someone that has passed. They want us to forgive them. They're forgiving us, if that makes sense to you. And that's a particular person I know my guide says that makes sense, and you're very aware of that. So whatever may have happened, it happened, okay? But that's okay. Nothing is coincidental. We're here to learn, and that's really important. But forgiveness is very important on both sides. They forgive us. That's a given. We have to forgive them. Because not everything is, oh, hunky-dory, as we would say. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. But they know what they did, but they look at it from a different perspective, because we're here to learn. Our journey is here to learn what we're learning. So we need to forgive what we may have done to them or they have done to us. That's very important, because on the other side, it's all about love, and love is forgiveness.
Sally,
I see
I got a question for you. You said to me that something I was going to turn down and then I was going to pick it up the next time. There has to be some sort of forgiveness that comes with that whole venue because of what was shown to me and said to me about other people, accusations of me wanting to do the pickleball tournament. I'll be very frank about it, which were unfair and untrue. So Dawn tells me the theme is forgive and move on. How do you do that, knowing that entering next year, some of these new venues that you talked about, I'm going to have to go through that whole traveling circus of accusation and lies and everything else? How do I turn the other cheek?
Okay, from what I'm hearing, Freddie, we get a lot thrown at us. Go with your first instincts. You have to forgive people. That's really important because you can actually rise above that, and it's not easy, but forgive and then go. Can you just give me a little bit more of that message? I'm sorry.
Well, the bottom line here is that a lot of people, sometimes the reason that I say no to certain new ideas is because everything that's attached to it. And that happened exactly with the pickleball tournament. I didn't want to do it because of the attachments that it had from others. So I
Okay.
guess I'm asking is, do I just move on and just forget about what was said?
No, you need to examine it more, if that makes sense to you. Then you come, and your first decision isn't necessarily always the right decision, as I had given you a message, which we talked about a little bit ago, because sometimes that changes. If you go into it and dwell more deeply into it, you might see more. It has more substance. So sometimes your first reaction to something is, no, I don't want to know. We all do that. And I'm not picking on you for saying that. We all do that. But sometimes, if it's important, we will continue to get that message. So we need to dwell more into it. If the same message is, no, I don't want anything to do with that, you probably might be right. But most of the time, we need to examine it a little bit more. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Sally, recently you've started painting again.
I did.
And as happens with you, or if you take a break, you come back with a totally different style. And I know you never sit down to portray a particular subject when you paint, but what comes to you when you sit down in front of the canvas? What messages do you get?
I don't. I mean, I get messages, but I'm not aware of it. So what I'm getting, I'm able to put on the canvas, which is really important, as you have seen, Steve. I know if I go a few months, and this time I went quite a long time, my style changes. Most artists have a similar style. So if you see a painting, you can say, oh, that's so-and-so artist. Mine changes. I have done a few. I never ever thought that I would have a different style. As you can attest to, I totally changed my style again. So I am being guided very much into my art. I have no idea what I'm going to do when I put that canvas in front of me, but I had waited quite a little while this time. But now I can't wait because I feel that they're giving me messages in my art too. As we can attest to too, actually, with people in the studio here. Someone actually, I'm going to say, I don't have to mention names, I brought to tears because it was very similar to someone who had a very similar story to me. I'm painting the same way as this person. I haven't yet met this person, but I believe that we follow a similar vibrational energy. I'm open to it, so I'm able to do that. I didn't know that I could paint. Suddenly I'm able to paint. So I believe absolutely that there's a reason for this.
And you've got an exciting year coming up. Your new book and screenplay, at least the first draft should be ready in February. How exciting is that for you?
It's very exciting. As you know, I'm not all about my ego, and you know that too, but I believe as I'm getting older that I have a message to show people, a message that you can do anything if you believe that. And that's basically my message. As long as you believe that you can do it, that there is so much more, and that's what I absolutely want to show people. Because if you'd asked me 20 years ago about this, I would say, what are you talking about? but the 20 years has done something to me. I understand so much. I'm able to paint, and this is some of my artwork. How am I able to do that? I wasn't an artist, and yet I'm being led to show people through my art what is going on. Anybody in the audience here? Great vibrational energy.
Sally, can you tell us what next year looks like for the studio?
For the studio, I'm not going to diversify. I don't always remember what I'm saying, but I believe it's going to be a good year, Freddie. Just know that. Whatever you are presented with, and I think I mentioned this to you last week, and again a little bit, we talked about it today, which I said, please bring him up on the show. You are going to be presented with something that is going to be phenomenal. You're not going to see it right away, but you will see it within the next 4 or 5 weeks now. I'm going to put a time limit on this. Go with it. Your first instinct, and I think maybe that's happened, is to say no, but say yes. This is going to change your whole situation here. I feel that very strongly. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I feel it. Does that make sense to you at all?
It does. The only question I have, is it going to be throughout the year, the beginning of the year? Is it going to be?
No, it's going to be the first part of the year, which will go into the second quarter of the year. But the first part of the year is very important for you to kind of do a roadmap of where this is going to go. The second part, the middle part of the year, is going to show you that you're on the right track. It's important. It's very important. Make sense? That's my guide. He always says to me, makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's scary, but it makes sense.
And Sally, what do my guides have to say today?
Okay, you're getting messages, Dawn. You know that, okay? Don't disregard these messages. They're either coming to you during the day by looking at something, even if you're looking at maybe a catalog or something, the message is going to be there. Don't disregard it. They're trying to work very hard with you. I'm going to bring your daughter up again because this is important. The messages that you're getting for your daughter are very important. She's at a crossroad. Listen to her. Go with what she's saying because she's getting messages, but she doesn't know it. Okay, and go with this. Please, it's going to be really important that you continue. She needs to continue on the path that she has put for herself. You also need to go on your path too. They're going to come together somewhere. I'm not sure. Somewhere in the middle of the year, what she's been talking about and what you're going to be talking about is going to come about. Does that make any sense to you at all?
I guess we'll find out.
Okay.
It's pretty exciting.
Okay. I'm not sure you know right now. That's the feeling I'm getting, but you will know. Okay.
Terrific.
Sally, I have a question. We've known each other for a lot of years, and I've experienced a lot of things
Can you
that's
talk
happened.
up a little bit, Margaret?
And I've experienced a lot of action when we've gone places or we've done something. So growing up with this and with our friendship, I also knew Aldo. Do I have a particular person in my life that you can relate with?
You mean like Aldo was to me?
Yeah.
Yes, you have your husband, who I knew, Al. He's with you every step of the way, Margaret, and you know that because I've given you many messages that I did not, although I know you both, I've given you messages of things that I would not have known. He's never left you, okay? He's never left you. You may not always see it, but he's with you 100%. And stop complaining to him that because he left you, you have to stop that. He's telling me to tell you, stop it. It wasn't his fault. It was his time. Say thank you. He's with you now, okay? That's important, okay? Can you relate to that?
Yes, I
Okay.
can. Thank you, Al.
Okay.
You know, coming into the holiday season, and everyone wants to be happy, and there's a lot going on in the world and in this country. where do you see 2024 going in the way of making this life a better life and a better place to be?
Not easy, and it's a very difficult challenge, okay? I can only tell you that we need to listen to ourselves to raise our vibrational energy. Is that easy? No, it's not. But my message, and maybe you don't even understand it, try to remain positive. With all this negativity that's going on, it's difficult, but let's try to raise it up. That's the only help that I can give people right now. To look, sometimes bad things happen, and we know that. We're seeing it every single day on the news. But let's try to change it a little bit and raise that vibrational energy. It's really, really important. Can I give you a whole lot of extremely good things? No, I can't, because we can see the way it's going. But we can, as a collective, raise that vibrational energy.
Sally, you have a message here that wrote in from Cocktail Concierge Co. My youngest daughter and I haven't spoken for a long time now. How can I make it right?
Okay.
That's from Tracy.
Tracy, hi Tracy. I know you call in, and I appreciate your message, your questions that you ask me. Tracy, try to reach out to her right now. It's not easy, but it's important, and I can relate to this. My daughter passed a couple of years ago, and unfortunately, I did not listen to her for many years. I was able to go to see her before she passed, and we made amends to everything that happened. It's really, really important. Listen to her. Please do that. It's not, I understand that question more than you understand, more than you will see what I'm saying, but it's really important. Reach out to her as she is trying in a way to reach out to you. I don't know if you can answer me, Tracy.
And again, if you're watching live on Facebook, you can type messages to Sally, or you can call in at 888-994-4995, Studio A. We'll be happy to answer any
Sally,
questions.
we're talking about forgiveness, and now that Tracy says I'm trying, tears are flowing, so she's crying. She's trying to type it right now.
Tracy, I know I've met you. Please reach out to me, if it's Facebook Messenger, however you want. Forgiveness is really, really important, and actually that's what my show is about, so this is not coincidental. I can, in a way, I don't know what's going on with you, but I can relate to that, okay? I lost my daughter, but we did make amends for the last couple of months. I had closure. Please do not ignore what's going on. Try very, very hard. Please reach out to me, okay? I feel that there's a connection between you and I.
Sally, how can people forgive in a situation like this that becomes so painful and everyone thinks they're right, but yet everyone is
Okay,
wrong?
the first words that are coming to me is get out of your ego. Get out of your ego. It's really important, and I believe me, I know this and I've gone through it. It's very important. But the main message is to love one another. It's not easy to forgive, but we have to, you know, even people that I know that they make amends to people, it's really important to do that. Reach out. It doesn't always work the way that you want it, but at least you've done something about it. It's very important that we do something about this. And I think that we're on a break right now. Okay. Commercial. Please do, Tracy. Thank you for calling in. Thank you. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you. This world, this life, this illusion. What is going on, we ask? What is happening? Why not take time and see what is happening? This world as we know it, it seems so real, and yet so far away from where we've come. Corruption, greed, anger, power, revenge. Please wake up. We can change what is around us. How, we may ask? Learn to go back to where we were. Then we will have the clues. Then we can change and go forward. Please take the time. Do not fall into the game which we have put upon ourselves. We can change. We can make a difference. We have the power, each and every one of us, Go in peace, go with love, go as one. Zena.
A true story, Call Me Zena is the telling of Sally Bernard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came to the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the 3rd dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest in art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she's able to astral project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life's direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today.
You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Bernard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you could always seek me out for resources. Visit artbysallybernard.com today. Now, back to the show. Hi, we're back. I'm going to ask Steve to read one of my prose or poetry, whatever we like to call it. Pick out one, Steve.
I have. It's called No Mystery, No Magic. All we are is what we are. There are many clues within our being. What greatness we have. What sorrow which has been. Please listen to yourself. We hold the key to open any door and lock out what it was when we were scared. We ourselves can make a change. Find joy on this road. We will have many bumps and challenges ahead. Do not despair. Seek and you will find such happiness. Go with a smile. Laugh out loud. Go with peace and forgiveness. Go with others on this journey. We are but one. We are not alone. Enjoy what we have chosen. Let us listen and learn in this short space of time. We will return. We will understand. Go with love, my children. This is what we have. Do not forget. Zena.
Thank you, Steve. And that came to me the same way as my art, too. I have no recollection of writing that down, but I know I did.
And I picked this one at random during the break.
Great.
And it had to do with what we've been speaking about, forgiveness as one of the topics.
No coincidence. Okay, Josh, I'm glad that you appeared. Okay.
Hi, Sally.
Hi.
How's it going?
Okay, everything is good.
So I got school finishing up Wednesday for this semester. Just trying to like focus stuff on break. I don't know if there's anything particular that I should focus on, mainly music production or maybe arts, maybe reading. I didn't know if there was any clear
I'm
path.
feeling music production.
Okay.
Focused on that. You have a lot of people working on the other side for you. So listen, again, I always go with your intuition. And I think I just brought you up just before the break, actually. It was important because they are here with you. So go with that. We have a connection here, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they're working very much. You will not make a mistake, okay? You will not make a mistake. You can't make a mistake. Go with what you feel, okay, if that helps you. But I feel it's more music right now. Do you relate to that at all?
Of course, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, I think that was it. I think Avraham had a question though.
Okay.
Where is he
again,
at?
yeah. I love you guys. You both have great questions.
Hi, Sally.
Love your
Hi.
hat.
Thank you.
I love your hat too.
I seen it on the desk. It's very pretty. I was gonna ask, what does my guys have to say for my family? Like, the energy surrounding my family.
Okay, they need to forgive a little bit. Okay, the forgiveness is really important. That's what my show is about today, and I think that's why you're asking me that question. But not only them, it does work both ways, and you know that too. So, though a lot of the things that you're going through, you might say, well, this is the way I feel about this. I need you to forgive me. But you also need to forgive them. That's important. Remember that, okay? So whatever is going on right now in your life, it's about love. I know that's a cliche, but it's really important. You have a strong family connection with you, okay? I believe that you have someone on the other side that was in your family that is rooting so much for you. But take away a little bit of the ego of what's going on here, and you'll see more clarity. Does that make sense at all?
Yes.
So go with the clarity. You may not feel it, but fake it, okay? Say, okay, I'm done with this. Let's see both sides of the story. That's really important. That's coming to me. So look at both sides, okay? This is really important. Get rid of that ego. I'm right. Okay? It works both ways. Not always right, neither the other person. But there's a balance here. So only you're going to understand what I'm saying, but I feel that very strongly they're telling me to tell you this. So research this in your head, look at it, and look at it from their point of view and from your point of view, if that makes sense to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Anybody with a question?
So we went to this event over the weekend, not knowing what it was, just to go. And we met a great community. Do you see that as a new opportunity, or what do you see going forward with all of these amazing people?
No, I think it was a new opportunity for you. I think you sensed that when you started to listen to what they were talking about. Again, remember there are no coincidences. So follow through with the ideas. Keep the communication going. I'm going to sneeze. Okay, so you know that's validation for what I'm saying. I'm trying to not, I always sneeze in my program, as you're very aware. Validation is my sneeze, although it's not actually coming out, okay, Dawn? It was, just look at both sides of this. Know that you were meant to be there with listening to them as they are to you. Follow through with it. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Did your daughter have a friend named Danielle?
Danielle?
Yeah.
If she's telling you, I'm not sure myself right now, but I know my daughter is definitely in contact with you. So is there a message that is Danielle on the other side or here?
I just keep hearing Danielle, so I'm not sure if it's
Danielle?
for your daughter or for you, or we'll find out.
Possibly, I'll ask my granddaughter about that, because she knows a lot more than maybe I do about my daughter. I think that's a very, whatever Daniela is trying to say is relevant. I'm not sure if she's here or on the other side. I think she's on the other side.
I don't know, I just keep seeing Danielle. We'll find out who it is.
Okay.
Does anyone here knows a Danielle?
Does anyone here a Danielle? But the name is familiar to me, but I'm not sure right now. I think is there a direct question from Danielle? Can you maybe?
Because sometimes when it's her names, and if they don't get validated, they just scream louder in my head.
Right.
We'll find out.
It'll show itself. It may not right now, but it will show itself, as you know, and we can attest to that, Dawn, right? Many things have happened. Okay. Thank you. And thank you, Danielle. Okay, I'm opening it up to the studio here. It's great vibrational energy coming here. Hi.
Hi, how do like the guides of my life go towards like my energy of how I go through life with?
Well, they're working with you. So I always say this, and I'm not sure if you've listened to many of my shows here, but they work very much with you. So it's through your own intuition. So if you feel strongly about something, you can even ask them, say, is this the way that I'm meant to go? And if you keep seeing something happening going into the direction that you feel that you see it, go with it. Because it's our intuition that tells us that our guides are speaking to us. They don't actually, although they can appear, but it's mainly with what we feel. So go with your first instinct. And you are getting messages from them. So go with what they're telling you.
Right.
I mean, and even if they're telling you something, you can still question it, but go with your first intuition of your first what you hear.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sally, a week from today is our first anniversary of being married.
It is.
Oh, congratulations.
And
Yeah.
we were supposed to go on a wonderful anniversary cruise, which for personal reasons we've had to cancel. My question is, how do you see the insurance company dealing with the claim I've filed to get reimbursed.
Absolutely, 100%, Steve, you know that. You took insurance out for a reason. They're there to pay you out. So we know we're going to get, I would have loved to have gone on the cruise and not had to do this, but through personal reasons, as we both know, yes, you will get reimbursed, absolutely. Don't even give it a thought.
Thank you.
That's what they're there for. It was a nice 12-day cruise, but we'll do it at a later date, okay? So don't even think about it. We'll be going again. This time next year, we'll go back onto this show and say, look, see how it worked out.
We're going to have to celebrate on Monday.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. 1 year, December 18th, right? We actually got married.
You actually remembered.
I did. And I know the year,
That's not the same year
2022.
I mean, when we look back on the year, and I'm sitting here thinking who we were sitting at the table with, there's been some sadness, right, for all of us. We lost a good friend of ours in this past year.
Mm.
Do you ever hear from Lynn on the other side?
I feel that he's with us right now, and that's why you brought this up. He was the editor to my book, right? But I feel that he's saying to us, and this is Lynn, who unfortunately passed away very suddenly, who had just finished my book, that he feels that we've made a wise choice to go with the Gino, who was on my show, and that he is writing the movie, so he is the best one to do the story from my book too. And I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. I don't know. But I feel that, yes, we're on the right track with Gino. He's going to do the movie and the book. And I feel that Lynn is helping him. Lynn was a good friend to everybody here in the studio, and he passed suddenly, but he had done the last chapter of my book but had not edited it. Gino will be able to do that. He says it's difficult, but he's going to be able to.
It's funny that you mentioned Lynn, because during your lunchtime show, during one of the breaks, the promo showed a picture of Lynn and his partner, and I got a very warm feeling as if Lynn were with us as well.
He's here, Steve. He's definitely here. He sat where you were many times on my show to talk about the oncoming book that he was writing. But his vibrational energy is still with us, and he's helping Gino to do this, although Gino doesn't need a lot of help. But I need to tell him that Lynn is guiding him for sure. He had managed to speak to him or emailed him, so that's good. For anyone that's been following my story, the new version of Call Me Zena is coming out. It's also going to be a movie, too.
Sally, what do you see for the Call Me Zena show for the coming year?
Well, as long as we all persist in doing this, I think that it's going to be very successful. But we also all have a part in making that success. So although sometimes I say, oh my gosh, it's not going anywhere, yes it is, because we have a lot of backing behind us from the other side. I have a few people, unfortunately, that have passed that were associated with my book, but they're all rooting for us. So we need to continue to move forward. I don't always remember what I'm saying on my show, but please remind me too if I say, oh my gosh, this isn't going anywhere. Yes, it is going somewhere. And yes, now is the time to do this. Remind me.
And is the movie going to be coming out next year?
It's going to be coming out. I'm going to say, yeah, I feel that within the end of next year, not this year, the end of next year, yes, the movie is going to come out. I've actually, what I am doing, and you can attest to this, Steve, is that I've started my art again, which has taken on a different type of, my art is different to what I'm doing. This is to motivate me too. I'm very motivated, but sometimes I'm saying, where is this going? We're not getting any younger, you and I, okay? But we need to move forward with this. It is going to be known. It is going to be successful. That's a message. I don't often get messages from me, but I feel that they're telling me this.
Also, speaking of your art, I think it would be wise if we come up with a way to exhibit your art here on one of your shows and show the many great works that you have done, and perhaps explain to your audience the meaning of your pieces, which have very, very deep meaning. And the more we look at them, the more we see in them.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I was given this message, as you know, many years ago that I saw many times, just as I've seen what's happening in the so-called future, but it's happening. I see a screen with my art going across it. I believe that now is the time to do that, and we can work together in the studio here to do that. We are doing some sort of a trailer here, but I believe that my art should be shown, and the interpretation that I'm getting through the other side of what I've actually drawn. I mean, we have a few art pieces here, but a lot of the beginning parts with the sketching that I have shown you, have tremendous significance. And now is the time to show the world what I was able to do. It's not about ego, and I always say that, but it is a message that I am able to give to the world. Whether you believe it or not, that's okay, but I have to do this. I'm not special. We all can do this, but I have tapped into something that's forcing me to go forward with this. And I will do that. I definitely will do that.
Sally, what do you see happening with the radio station?
Okay. I see, and as you know, my message is always of hope and of success and positivity. I'm going to continue to tell you that, Dawn. It's going to go forward. The main thing is it comes from us. They're all about positivity, but we have to believe that. So as long as we believe that, it will happen. Anything, nothing is coincidental. If we start saying, oh, I don't know what's going to happen here, well, we're not going to find out. But if we believe that it is going to happen, and I've given you many messages on this, I believe it's positive. That's my message anyway, that continue to believe what you want to happen will happen, especially with both you and Freddie. You know, I feel very strongly about that. I've said that before. Believe that what you want will happen. That's my message today for you.
I was watching something that said you must write it down.
Yes,
when you write it down, it's more of a clear connection that you've seen what you want.
I believe in that, because it reminds you too, because if you look at it with what you want, write down your goals. Very important, not just writing them down, look at them periodically. Talk to your guides about your goals. I'm glad you brought that up. Dawn, follow that advice, it's very important.
Sally, what can I do other than continue to put my own message out to a potential spirit guide? What can I do to make them answer?
It's up to you to listen. They're answering us. But you know, we have to play our part too. They give us many messages in different ways. There are people that will come into our lives that give us messages. There are people that come into our lives in dreams, in messages, our first in what we think is going to, we listen and we listen to ourselves. We go ahead and do something. We do it automatically somewhere. They're able to talk to us. We're not always open to listen. The most important, and I write that in my prose, listen. Listen, go with your first intuition. If you feel that you're doing something and it doesn't feel right, don't do it. But if you feel that you're doing something that you feel good about, continue doing that. That's really important. We have the answers. I wrote that in my prose many, many years ago. We have all the answers with the help of them helping us. But you have to believe. If you don't and you say this is a lot of garbage, then you know what? You're not going to listen. But listen. Listen to what they're saying. They're here to help us. They are absolutely here to help us. Let's listen to them. Try.
I've had a constant memory throughout my life. I can only remember one particular dream in my entire life. And it had to do with aliens. And aliens were chasing me, but the funny part was they were wearing my brother's pajamas.
Well, you know that I've been abducted, which I'm coming forward with many, many times. This is not coincidental. They were. But it's up to you to interpret it. But we're together, so you can tell me more. More is going to be shown
and
to
by the
you.
way, I didn't bring that up to get a rise. You know, I've told you about
You
this
have.
before.
Yes.
It's absolutely.
Can I let you know this? And I'm going to do it on the air. I came forward with mine, which I thought was just astral projection, but I've been abducted many times. I believe you have too, Steve. And I've never told you that before. And you've said, what do? I want to see these people. The fact that we're together, which many years ago when we first met each other, you didn't want any part of this. However, today, over the time that we've been together, you have also been abducted. It's no big deal. It's okay. Many, many people have been. It's just that we have this thing, let's talk about it. Okay, I'm saying this on the air, okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, Sally, I had dreams of red ruby people. Have I been abducted?
Yes, absolutely you have. Okay, it's not an uncommon, it's more common than we think. Yes, you have. You've had a dream about this, okay? Tell me
On a
the
train. It was on a train. I went to the back of the train. I kicked down the door. And where the conductor was, it was like, instead of my skin, it was like transparent. It was glass people, and you could see their skeletons.
Okay,
There were
whatever
rubies.
you were watching, I think you were watching a movie that set this up in your subconscious, okay? But I believe that this has happened to you. Move forward with this. It will be revealed, okay? It will be revealed. Yes, I do. I don't believe that, sitting on this show today, that I do believe a few people here have been abducted. They just don't know that they have. It's okay. We're surrounded by aliens. We're listening and they talk to us. And I mean, at first I said, how can I come out with this? However, 18 years ago, I wrote a book talking about going to other planets. I thought I was just astral projecting. But you know, if I was, they wouldn't be talking to me. I would just be seeing, as far as I know. I had many answers. It's not unusual. It's more usual with a lot of people, but you have to be open-minded. It seems scary, but you know what? The scare takes away, it doesn't take away fear. We have to be fearless. And if we are, we'll have more revealed to us. It's very important to know that.
It was so vivid.
Just to mention, if people can't watch live, please tell your friends, if you're watching now, tomorrow you can watch the show either on Facebook, on Call Me Zena, or you can watch it on YouTube, Call Me Zena.
Yes, and I actually started with YouTube, which they are doing here in the studio. Go into YouTube. I don't have a lot of followers. I have more followers on Call Me Zena, but it's very easy to find me on YouTube too. Thank you.
And subscribe.
And subscribe, yeah, thank you. Any more questions in the studio?
Sally, how does it look for new businesses starting up for the coming year? Good, bad, or indifferent? Being that the economic situation is sometimes up in the air, how does it look for new businesses starting next year?
Well, that's a very open-ended question. Depending on what you're doing, there are certain things that people, you know, technology and many things that are up and coming that we need to hear. They're giving us messages. It's mainly a lot to do with technology right now. Many businesses may not succeed, but there are many on the other side of that will. It depends on what you're doing. Give it thought. Is that a specific question for yourself or just an open-ended question with many people?
You know, it's just open-ended because I know a lot of people, we've met in the last 3 weeks, a lot of people that are starting out or they're in they're starting out in the last quarter of the year, thinking that the best time to start a new business would be the holidays. And I just wanted to get your feel on that.
I think it's more in the beginning of the new year, maybe the first few months. A lot's going on right now at the end of the year because we unfortunately have a lot of negativity in the world today, and it will be there. But have faith in what you're doing. If you feel very strongly about something that you want to do, I believe the first few months is important. Do it then. You may see, well, there's so much negativity here. How is this going to succeed? But we are getting, and I'm going to talk about also we are getting help. Okay, so go, if you feel very strongly about something that you want to do, go ahead. You may think, well, I don't know, this isn't the time. But I believe the first 3 months of the next year is the time to do something.
So should I bring the concerts back?
Should you bring the concerts back?
Remember the concerts? We had to postpone 6 of them because...
Well, bring them back. That's what I'm hearing. Bring them back. I don't know personally what you're talking about, Freddie, but I am getting a very strong message about bring them
music
back.
concerts, like when you went to JC's concert,
Oh.
that was one that survived, but we had another 6 that we had to postpone.
No. The first few months of the next year is important. Bring them back. Bring them back. Does that help you?
We're about to find out.
Well, come back to me in 3 months. I'll still be here talking about all this. Let me know. But I feel very strongly about you need to continue where you started.
She said continue.
Continue.
Bring 'em back.
Continue. Even if it feels like it's not right to you, and I always say go with your first intuition, but I'm feeling that they're telling me that it is right. It is right.
I couldn't agree with you more.
You couldn't or you could?
I could agree. No, I agree. I agree. Dawn
Good.
is the one that's hesitant because we had to put a stop to it because it just was not producing. It wasn't doing anything.
That's the other side. They're saying, nah, don't do it. But the positive side is go ahead and do it. Do it. You have nothing, I'm going to say nothing to lose. You may think you have, but you honestly don't. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Thank you, Dawn. Oh, that pizza looks good.
Sally, we're going to get pizza.
I'm getting hungry.
We'll go get pizza when we're done.
Any question that someone feels that they want to ask me that are a little bit apprehensive right now, but please go ahead. We've only got another 4 minutes.
Sally, when people know they're spiritual, but yet they shut it down sometimes, is it just because they're too busy in the physical world and they should try to reopen themselves up spiritually? Because I feel like when I sit and I connect and do what I do, I have much more peace than when I'm running around in the physical world.
Actually, that's a good question, Dawn. A lot of people think, I can't be bothered with this, but a lot of people also are apprehensive or they just they don't believe it. But if you go ahead and you do what you feel that you should be doing, that's usually the right choice. But we have both sides of this. We have the positive, we have the negative. And a lot of how we've been brought up and what we hear is, that voice is ridiculous. It's not going to happen. But, I preach a lot of positivity here. Believe if it's something that you feel very strongly about, believe in that. It will go your way as long as you believe it. If you start putting that negativity or I can't be bothered, now isn't the time, that's what they follow too. They don't, but the universe will heal that. So go ahead with what you feel very strongly about. Do not give up on your dreams. That's the message of today, and I'm going to end the show that way. Do not give up on your dreams. You have help. That's really...
Thank you. I like that message.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
For more information, you can find Sally all over social media or call me Zena 1111 at gmail.com. And next week, 1 year anniversary.